Trey Lance, the most popular bet for 2022 NFL MVP with 37% of the tickets and 53% of the dollars wagered. Actually, it's from Caesar Sports. He went from plus 20,000 to plus 7,500. Look at the first reply to the tweet. At Guy Haberman, at John Middlekoff, at Jack Hammer, at Caesar Sports, at Action Network. Sprinkle a little something. Eyeball emoji, question mark. So this seems insane to me, but I guess it's a long shot because it's a long shot.
Well, this would be absolute insanity a decade ago. You would never bet on a young guy winning an MVP this fast. There are some recent examples of Patrick Mahomes, his first year starting, which was second year in the league, MVP. Lamar Jackson, his second year in the league. Now, he had, remember, started like they benched Flacco midseason. He came in. They started being good. The next year, he wins the MVP. Maybe it was his third year. I think Lamar won it a second year. But just either second or third. Like, he won it fast. I mean, so young guys can win it. Now, I would say those two guys, Mahomes was so good passing immediately. Lamar's element of running was just in a completely different stratosphere of Trey Lance. So
you're 2 on Lamar.
It feels like that'd be one of the greatest. Like, think of what him winning the MVP, both those two guys did for their franchises. It was like, these guys just fucking. It took John Harbaugh, DaCosta, Andy Reid, and Brett Veach to a different stratosphere of like, these guys know what the fuck they're doing. You know, it would be more powerful than anything that John Lynch and Kyle have done, like all their playoff victories, winning the NFC a couple years ago, like that moment to validate. Because the quarterback, what it signifies is like, you got your future. Like, this is and it really is for both those two teams. Like, it changed the Chiefs franchise. Lamar Jackson, like, it took him getting hurt this year. The Ravens are in the playoffs if he doesn't get his ankle rolled up on, right? Like, it's just every year people are going to pick the Chiefs and the Ravens to be in the playoffs. Now, they have good teams and good coaches, but first and foremost, why do people believe in both the franchise? Because they're quarterbacks.
Yeah. I think what's funny I was thinking about this with the Chiefs the other day. Long way to go. How old is Mahomes? 26, 27?
Yeah, pretty. I mean, he was defending his wife last night. I saw.
We're in his prime. I didn't see that. But
she made a funny face at a Texas Tech game, and then everyone acted like he hates her, and then he come out and be like, you guys are making stuff up on the internet. He's 26. Doesn't turn 27 until like week 2.
Yeah, okay. So here's the deal. And this kind of goes back to Russell, although Russell Wilson's never received an MVP vote.
You only get one vote, though, right? You don't do places.
He's never got one. It's pretty crazy.
Never got one.
But, you know, I think one thing that happens with them happened with Kansas City. It's like you just think they're going to win 3 championships. And they've won 1, and that's fantastic. And we just assume they're going to win. They'll win 2 more at least, right? You just don't know. It's hard. These things, they're really
Packers
hard
and
to
Rodgers.
win.
Look at the Packers and Rodgers.
4
MVPs.
Yes, 1 Super Bowl. And it's just
think about this guy. All of his MVPs came after a Super Bowl championship. Every single one. I think 11, 14, and then the last 2 years. So he won a ring, and then he won the 4 MVPs. So you'd be like, well, he was better after they won the Super Bowl, right? He's a better player now than when he won the Super Bowl. He would tell you that. Everyone in the league would tell you that. He can't fucking win.
It's crazy.
But it's crazy. Here's the thing. They won it on their rookie contracts. I'm saying Mahomes, right?
Yeah.
It gets harder once you pay the guy.
Yeah. Because your team gets not as good.
Well, he just takes up a huge salary cap spot.
Right. Yeah, it'd be incredible. But here's the thing. Here's the good news on the Niners. They don't need him to be that necessarily, right? What Lamar Jackson was, his MVP season. I mean, what was he, like 39 touchdowns, 6 picks? I mean, it was outrageous.
His
not
rushing
even rushing.
His rushing was incredible.
Did he rush for 1,000? Was that part of the deal?
I just thought his 2000. So regular season, he was 15 games. He was 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He ran for 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. Didn't 1,000? I'm lowballing him. 1,200 yards.
And then he ran for 1,000 the next year.
He averaged 7 yards a carry.
John hurt Lamar last year. Ran for 767 yards.
One thing I think Lamar has established himself as someone who was inaccurate in college. It felt like when he played the better teams. He's 64%. Like his accuracy is not really been his downfall. I mean, he hasn't really had a downfall. I mean, he's been very successful. His downfall this year he got, and I'd say it was a little bit of a freak injury when he got sacked on the one play, and it didn't look that bad. And it turned out he's had a high ankle sprain, couldn't come back.
Yeah, I mean, the downfall is not what I'm about to say. Is not what you're talking about. Just not winning in the playoffs has been kind of the issue, right? Not kind of. Yeah, it has been.
Won one game in 3 years. Yeah.
So that's the problem. But I mean, we'll see. Does Rodgers play for the same team again next year? When you start thinking MVP conversation, does Russell have a comeback and go play for the Giants? Right? Just think about the MVP candidates. Stafford is going to be an MVP candidate coming into the season next year. So, I mean, these guys being a quarterback puts you in the top half of just candidacy.
You would say it's pretty wide. Like there's going to be pretty wide open next year. Like, is this Josh Allen's time? Can Mahomes get his swag back?
Herbert.
Joe Burrow.
I'd bet no on Herbert, even though I love Herbert. So do you.
Is it just a quarterback award?
Yeah. I mean, who's the last non-quarterback to win it? Sean Alexander in a split?
I was thinking, just the more you think about Cooper Kupp's season, he deserved some big-time award. I know the Offensive Player of the Year, but I mean, that to me is a little more niche-y. I'm glad that he won the Super Bowl MVP because, like, you could argue he was the MVP of the season.
Well, are they them without him?
No.
But it's like, well, they're not them without Stafford either, and quarterback's hard to play.
Was Cooper Kupp going to be a Hall of Famer? I've never heard anyone bring that up, and it's like, why don't we talk enough about this guy being?
Well, because early, but I mean, he keeps it up. He will be a Hall of Famer because his numbers are going to be ridiculous if he keeps it up.
With the Super Bowl,
and he's
MVP,
got a Super Bowl,
Super Bowls.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
No, I'm saying he's been to multiple Super Bowls, so he's like been a part of winning.
Gotcha. Yeah. Last non-quarterback, LaDainian Tomlinson and Sean Alexander. LaDainian Tomlinson in 06. Oh, I'm sorry, Adrian Peterson in 12. My mistake.